Hey everyone, Matt here on another edition of Ask Ron. Ron, how's your day going today?
So far, so good. You're not going to spoil it, are you?
I hope not. All right. We have a
Oh,
few, we have a few questions today. Let's go ahead and get started. First one we got is from Kimberly up in Indiana.
Hey, Kimberly.
Kimberly says, is the standard purchase and sales agreement able to be used for wholesale purchases in Indiana?
It was Illinois that outlawed signing contracts. I know of no such thing in Indiana, so the answer is yes, but you should check with your attorney. Speaking of attorneys, I happen to have one for you that I just got yesterday. I was on a fishing trip to Alaska, and a friend of mine, Kyle Romanek, who's in our commercial mastermind group and also does houses, has got a great attorney up there. And I just talked to him yesterday, and he can do real estate closings for everybody in Indiana, and he's very cheap. He's only a few $100s, and he understands the business thoroughly, owner financing, wraps, all that stuff. So now all I got to do is actually get you his name, and actually I don't have to do that. Well, his name is Tim Claxton, that I remember.
Oh, he's on the Gold Club already. I just added him today.
That's what I was going to say. All right, look on the Gold Club. He just got added for all you folks in Indiana.
All right, perfect. The next set of questions are from Edgar down here in Florida. He has 3 of them. His first question is, do we need to take any other actions if the seller has an FHA loan? Would it be any different from a conventional loan?
No, not a bit.
All right, easy enough. The next one he has, Edward, he says, I am trying to acquire a property with owner financing. Being a HELOC, kind of a revolving credit, how do I keep the seller from drawing money from that HELOC, considering that it is his account and he controls it?
Well, number one, your wraparound agreement clearly states that he cannot do that. And number two, even if he did it, as long as he don't draw more money out than you owe him, what do you care? It's irrelevant to you. If his payment goes up, that doesn't mean your payment has to go up because he drew money out. In all of my years doing this, I've never had a seller do that. Not once. They know they can't do it.
All right, awesome.
But you do need something to worry about, don't you?
Don't we all? All right. Edgar's last question is, I am calculating the ARV in a property in Melbourne, Florida. Do wood frame houses have a different value than cement block homes?
No.
And how do I take that into account?
No, homes are going to be measured by the dollars per square foot that the comps are selling for, and you don't have to take anything into account. Frame block doesn't change the value.
All right, easy peasy. All right, the next question we have is from Marcus, who is also in Florida. Marcus says, hi, Ron. Hope these few lines reach you and all your loved ones in the best of good health and happiness. My question is, do members of the Gold Club have a way of getting a proof of funds letter?
No. You don't need it in Florida, though. Florida's a state where it's not required. Your closing agent, your title company, or your attorney can take funds that are in their account from the buyer and use them to close the deal.
Nice.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something different. I'm thinking of transactional funding. Proof of funds, no. Proof of funds, you're just going to have to get a statement from anybody who's got the money in their account. Doesn't make any difference who it is. And they're certainly not going to use that money. I don't even know why they allow proof of funds statement from anybody but the buyer, but they do. And remember, that's only if you're making cash offers through the MLS. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you're making cash offers through the MLS, you're wasting your energy and your time because you're not going to get them unless you grossly overpay for them. So proof of funds is out of the picture. You don't need proof of funds to buy a FSBO. You need $10 for an earnest money deposit.
Nice. Nice. All right. The last 2 questions we have are from Gary up in Utah. Gary says, with the CDC extending the eviction memorandum, how does that affect our business if we need to evict a non-paying tenant?
Well, good for you for asking that question, because they just extended it again, didn't they? And here's the thing. The only people that are worried about that kind of nonsense are landlords, not people with tenant buyers in their house. When somebody gives you 20, 30, 40, $50,000 down, if they do not pay their rent, they forfeit that money. And now look, okay, so they don't have to pay your rent right now, but sooner or later, they're going to have to pay the piper. And these kind of tenant buyers just don't do that. They pay their rent because they have so much skin in the game. I have not had one single problem with tenants not paying their rent, because I got a lot of their money, and they're going to lose. They're not going to get it back. If they don't buy, they know they're not getting it back, but if they're not getting it either. And if they don't pay their rent, as soon as the thing is lifted, they're going to be moving and forfeit that deposit. So that's the difference between tenants and tenant buyers. I will never, ever, as long as I live, put a straight tenant in a house. And I don't care if it's a war zone house and up. It's a tenant buyer or nothing, for a lot of other reasons, including the money you collect up front and the repairs that is now their responsibility. Plus you get a whole lot better tenant than if you're just renting the house. And that only works on single family, unfortunately. It won't work very well on multifamily.
Got it. All right. The last question we have today, Gary says, we have gone from major drought conditions to flash flooding. My son has a rental property that is flooded. How would we handle this if it was sold via lease option? It is my understanding property insurance does not cover flooding of this type.
Well, it depends on whether you buy flood insurance or not. And if it doesn't, then, the tenant buyer is supposed to do the renovation on the house, but you will have problems there because that's probably going to be a major item. You're just going to have to work through it. It's likely you're going to have to come up with the money to do the renovations for that flood. But, if you had to force the issue, you could force them to do it. But then again, if they take it to court, the judge is probably going to rule in their favor, because he might consider that an unfair condition with that degree of repair. So frankly, I think you probably ought to just make up your mind, and you're going to have to get the repairs done and check out flood insurance further. It honestly may or may not be worth your money to buy it, because sometimes it is pretty high if you're in a flood district, and it's just a risk you're going to have to take. I'm making that same decision right now on a mobile home I just put in my backyard for my daughter. I mean, I only got about 60 grand in the mobile home. The insurance on it's $800-900 a year. The question is, do I want to insure it? And in fact, I got to make that decision today. I probably will, but there's no law says I have to. You don't have to have flood insurance, but it may be in your best interest. So check out the price of that. But in the meantime, yeah, you got to do those repairs, I'm sure.
Yep, makes sense. All right, Ron, that was all the questions we have for today.
That's it?
Yeah,
Okay.
That was it.
No hard one today? All right. Guys, you will know by now that I'm going to be doing a live boot camp in Vegas the last week of this month. And we're growing fast every day, and numbers go up and up and up. I hope you're in them, because that's going to be a really cool event. I'm going to do some cool things, and we're in a cool place. And you should know that we're at the M now. We're off the strip. So we're not going to be in the hustle bustle of the strip. In fact, it's probably a 20-minute ride from where we're at to the strip. And that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. But M is a casino hotel, and it's a brand new hotel practically. So we picked a good place. We got you good room rates, $150 a night, except for that last night. And I'm going to be out there for the whole 4-day event, and we're going to change your life if you get to it. And honestly, if you're interested in buying and selling houses, you better call my team right now, because they got a special deal working for you on this event. And what's 800-567-6128, 800-567-6128. At least talk to them about it. And you can even use Gold Club points, plus some other discounts that we've thrown in for you just for the special Vegas event. So don't, and also set aside the dates now, August 31st through September 3rd, which is my 75th birthday. Now this one's virtual, but we're going to do a virtual massive income strategy event. And it's just like it sounds. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in it myself pertaining to real estate. In fact, I'll just give you a list right now. I'm going to be doing a session on how to do real estate today, but I've also thrown in live seller calls, or call sellers live. I'll be screening deals that you bring in or send in every single day. And I've got a session called Handling the Calls, because that's one of the biggest things that people have the most trouble with, is handling that call to that seller. So I've got a special class on that. And I got a class on handling contractors, which I don't teach. So I put it in there on purpose because if you don't learn how to handle them, they certainly know how to handle you. And my friend Bob Bloom was going to talk to you about LLCs and how most of them are actually junk. And I'm going to do a class on getting you automated. And we're going to have a piano party on the second night with Mr. J. and Carol Connor actually playing the piano and singing. It's an optional thing, of course. We're going to have all of our mentors there. I'm going to let you meet all of our mentors, and they're going to be interviewing students of theirs and talking about their successes. I've stuck in time management. That's a badly needed class that everyone watching needs, because I find most people have just no idea about how to handle their time and get things done. And I've thrown in another class called the 10 biggest mistakes I see investors making. I think you're going to find that one very enlightening to you. I've been at this 40 years now, and I've seen just about every mistake, but fortunately there's only a handful of them that total the entire gauntlet of mistakes that you can make. Also going to talk about how to never pay taxes. When you sell real estate, again, there's three ways that you can do that. And we are putting together a absolute world-class faculty, and we're bringing subjects to you that you have not seen before in the way of multiple income streams. I've designed this thing to not only show you what we're doing in real estate, there's multiple income streams within it, but also other things outside of real estate are closely attached to it with other income streams. I'm a firm believer in multiple income streams, and I think you should be a firm believer in it as well. I never have too many of them. I'm always looking for the next one. So that way, when something goes wrong or slows down, the rest of them are there awaiting you. So just set aside those dates. You've probably already been contacted on it 5 times, but book it because it's only $10. 10, how many? That many dollars, 10. And we're going to get you an upgrade VIP package here shortly if we haven't already. So set aside the dates. The thing is, you got to be there. You can't just book it and not show up. You got to show up to get the value of this thing, because it is constant quality content from beginning to end. And of course, we're giving away a 1980 Mercedes convertible. I was just out there today taking pictures of it. You'll see it pretty soon. And it's a hard top. You peel the top off if you want, and you put the convertible top up, or you leave the hard top on, or you just run around with a convertible or whatever. It's a 1980. It's a beautiful car and in good shape, and somebody's going to win it. So we got a lot going on, plus a lot of other prizes, cash prizes, and all kind of cool stuff. So you got 2 events coming up. Get into that boot camp, get out to Vegas, and get away from the home. Let me have your full attention, and then plan on being with me the 31st of August through the 3rd of September and celebrate my birthday. I'm going to be giving you presents for my birthday. So how does that work?